The Blitz, sponsored by Moxie Credit Union and Michael Rocha with Atlantic Realty.
Welcome to The Blitz. I'm Frankie Tovar.
I'm Angelina Martin.
And this is the second game of our doubleheader week here on The Blitz. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage so far. And this game is Hilmar at Gustine, the Yellow Jackets against the Reds. And it turned into a bloodbath, so to speak. Hilmar, they came to Gustine in full force.
Yeah, 42-0. It was a bit of a blowout, and even though they were on the road, they didn't play like it, and the fans even showed up like it was a home game. The stands were packed. They had a student section in the end zone. It was very impressive and heartwarming to see.
Absolutely. 42-0, you said. A reminder for everybody who didn't make it out to the game, all those points were scored in the first half. Most of the yards were also gained in the first half. We're talking 415 first half yards, 426 total for Hilmar. Gustine, they really struggled. I believe they had 98 total yards, and most of those were in the second half. And if you don't believe what we're saying, why don't you believe what we're showing you? Because right now we have the Friday night highlights. We don't normally show kickoffs, so when we do, it's probably for good reason. Check out Cole Bailey fake the reverse before making a move and dashing for daylight. He's got a wall of blockers, and it looks like he's got a 98-yard kickoff return to his name, but there's a flag on the play, and so it's wiped off the board. Lucky for Hilmar, though, their offense is ready to shine. Here is junior quarterback Seth Miguel rolling to his left, and he's going to throw across his body like a G. He connects with Aiden Azevedo for this 87-yard touchdown. He's wide open, and it's 7-0 with less than 2 minutes into the game. And I know it's early, but we need to take the tape back right quick because this is the play of the game. That's right. You can see Azevedo flash across the screen. He says, "I'm open, give me the ball." Miguel obliges, he catches the ball, and he is outrunning number 80, whoever that is. Great block by his teammate, and man, what a way to set the pace for this game. I think it's going to be a long night for Gustine.
Yeah, that 87-yard touchdown pass is going to be tough to follow, but Miguel and Azevedo are at it again. He connects with Azevedo for a 28-yard gain, and then just a couple plays later, he's going to find Joseph Olsen, a 12-yard gain, and he takes it down. He's making moves, darting left and right. He picks up a couple yards, sets it up perfectly for Steve Silva to get that 3-yard touchdown right over the line. Perfect. Hilmar's up 14-0 in the first quarter.
And now we're in the second quarter, and that's a handoff to Bailey. Man, this kid does it all. That's a 13-yard run. And here's Trent Crowley now making moves and muscling his way to the 10-yard line. He's looking fresh, setting up a beautiful counter with Steven Silva, who gets the ball and eventually crosses the goal line with ease to make it 21-0.
And Steve-O says, "Give me the ball again." He's going to pick up a 20-yard gain right here, showing off the speed. Boom! Through the defenders, just like he does. We know how Steve-O likes to roll. And he sets that up for who? Miguel. He says, "I'm going to take it myself," but he stopped short of the goal line, but that's okay because Lucas Cardoso, he's going to crash in there for a 1-yard touchdown. Hilmar up 28-0, 7:30 left in the half.
Now here's a quick pass from Miguel to Justin Barros. He's on the far side of the field, picking up 21 yards, and he's down in the red zone. And that's followed by another run from Bailey, who looks like he might be scoring again. Oh, but he's called out at the 4-yard line, and that's where Miguel decides to roll out once again, buy some time, and then hit Azevedo for their second touchdown of the night to make it 35-0. Hilmar is looking really, really good.
And then Cole Bailey says, "You know what, Seth? I can play quarterback too, but I'm going to take it myself." 54 yards down the field for the nail in the coffin against Gustine. 42-0, and that's game. And with that impressive display of football that you just saw, the Hilmar Yellow Jackets are 3-0 on the season, undefeated. Big win tonight.
Great start to the season for the defending state champions. Now, before we talk more about which players helped in the effort, let's first recognize our sponsors, Moxie Credit Union and Michael Rocha of Atlantic Realty.
Are you in search of a loan? Then you need to visit Moxie Credit Union. Whether it's a boat, an RV, a car, any other type of toy, I don't know, if you want to get a jet ski or some kind of ATV, visit Moxie Credit Union. They're on Gear Road, they have a super friendly staff, and they will help you out with whatever you need.
And tell them the Blitz sent you. And if you already have all the cars and toys you need and you want to buy a house, well, you need to talk to Michael Rocha of Atlantic Realty. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, Michael Rocha will assist you every step of the way. As a buying agent, he'll make your ideal home a reality. As a seller's agent, he'll get you top dollar for your home. So contact Michael Rocha now for more information. He's on social media, guys, Facebook and Instagram.
We love Michael. All right, Frankie, now it's time to talk about those impact players that really made a difference in this 42-0 victory. First, we got to give a shout out to running back Steven Silva. He had 10 carries on the night, and in those 10 carries, he amassed 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. You saw it in the highlights. He was tearing it up. But don't forget about Aiden Azevedo. He had 3 catches, which doesn't sound like a lot, but he made the most of them. 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, a couple of stars right there.
Absolutely. And another offensive shout out to Cole Bailey. He was like a utility player, something akin to a Swiss Army knife. He was all over the field, and had that kickoff return been good, that would have been the player of the game.
Absolutely.
And had a few other plays went this way or that way, he may have been the player of the game. He's someone to look forward to in the games to come. Also, big shout out to the defense, because Gustine did literally nothing, and it was such a team effort. We can't really shout out individual defensive players. We'll just give a shout out to the entire unit. But now is the time of the episode for the player of the game. And if you watch the highlights, there's only one player. It can be the junior quarterback, Seth Miguel. In only his 3rd varsity game as the starting quarterback, he went 6 for 7, which is nearly perfect, for 152 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. What a performance. It's no wonder we had to talk to this guy. So right now we have an interview with Seth Miguel, the player of the game.
It's a higher level of playing out here, and I think that I have a lot to learn still, and I think that my coaches will help me learn throughout the season, and I'll always be getting better. Our team's looking good, and we have a solid offense and a solid defense, and I think we're going to keep it going throughout the year. I mean, Aiden Azevedo, great hands. Cole Bailey, you can't go wrong with that running game. Steven Silva takes a lot of hits for us. Good running game, had a good yardage today. Trent Crowley, great asset to the team. We're just going to take it one game at a time kind of thing. We're going to get ready for Sonora, how we get ready for everyone else, watch film, and adjust to what they run. We're working hard every day, putting in the work, and it's going to show.
Touchdown, Hilmar.
Awesome job by Seth. It's so easy to forget that he's only a junior. He's going to be a huge part of this team for the rest of the season, moving forward next year, and moving forward to Sonora next week.
Next week, Hilmar's on the road against Sonora. Sonora's 0-3, but don't let that fool you. They're still a tough team, even though they just lost to rival of Hilmar, Escalon High, and sure to be a TVL matchup that we might be at later in the season. Maybe. Sonora is still going to be a tough cookie for Hilmar, because since 2014, Sonora has beaten Hilmar 4 times, whereas Hilmar only beat him once last year. So let's see if Hilmar can get over that hump. But again, that's what they'll be doing next week. We'll be going to a different game, a little change to the schedule, Angie.
Right, we were originally going to Turlock versus Sheldon, but we're going to go down Gear Road a little bit further, out to Houston High School, where they're going to be taking on Somerville. It should be a really good game.
Absolutely. Houston, fresh off a victory against Argonaut, a close victory at that, taking on a Somerville team that couldn't quite get it done against Ripon Christian, but still, it's bound to be a great matchup, and this will be one of the few times we've covered Houston on the Blitz, because this is the first season we're covering Houston in full force at the Turlock Journal. So Houston fans, you got to watch this episode. You don't want to miss it. You can find that at turlockjournal.com. And if you're on social media like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you can find us at Turlock Journal. So until next week with the Houston versus Somerville game, I'm Frankie Tovar.
I'm Angelina Martin.
Good night.